Welcome, everyone, to the deep dive. Today, we're jumping into some really mind-bending sources, stuff that really challenges how we see things.
Definitely. We're going to unpack narratives about strange space sightings,
Mm.
ancient finds that don't quite fit, and even, well, some alleged political weirdness tied to it all.
Yeah, it's a mix. Video commentary, historical claims. We're aiming to pull out the key insights, the surprising bits, see what nuggets of knowledge we can find in these, let's say, unusual materials.
Absolutely. It's fascinating how each source really kind of pushes you to rethink things.
Okay, so let's start in orbit. We've got this footage. It's from a NASA live feed, apparently. It shows the Russian Soyuz MS-02 capsule docking with the ISS.
Right. A pretty standard procedure, you'd think. But as you're watching this, the source points out multiple unidentified objects flying near the Soyuz.
Near the capsule, yeah. And it's how they move that's described as odd.
That's the key part. The commentary says they seem to move of their own volition, which is interesting. The Soyuz is firing thrusters for docking.
Exactly. You'd expect debris, ice crystals, whatever, to get blown around.
Right. Blown left and right. But these things, they don't seem affected. They change speed. They pop up from nowhere.
And one specific object, the source notes, actually changes direction and, speeds up, significantly increases its velocity.
Which really goes against the idea of just random space junk or ice.
Yeah.
That kind of maneuver suggests something else.
And then there's the timing of the feed cuts. The source highlights this pattern.
Convenient timing.
That's how the commentary puts it, yeah. Very convenient. Shortly after these objects appear or do something interesting, there's a frame cut or the whole feed drops.
Okay.
And there's this one moment where the camera actually pans up, away from an object just as it speeds off. The source commentary is almost sarcastic, as if someone said, all right, strange object here, let's pan away.
So the argument boils down to this. If it was just ice or dust, the thrusters would scatter it. But these things move steadily, almost purposefully.
Yeah. It leaves you wondering, doesn't it? What could explain that kind of movement? The source leans into the idea of intelligent control.
A provocative thought, certainly.
Yeah.
Okay, so from low Earth orbit, where are we going next?
We're diving into something completely different. Alleged political intrigue, digital documents. It centers around a bombshell document, reportedly released by Anonymous, the hacker group, and linked to the WikiLeaks Podesta files dump. So right in the middle of all that election chaos.
Podesta. The source mentions him being described as a, quote, well-known secret UFO researcher.
That's the description used, yes. And this document, while the alleged content is pretty explosive.
Go on.
It supposedly outlined strategies for the Clinton campaign to disrupt voting, specifically for right-leaning voters, on Election Day, November 8th.
Okay, that's a huge claim. How?
Well, the most sensational method described was creating a fake UFO invasion.
A fake UFO invasion? You're kidding.
Nope. A fake sighting over certain areas using, and this is specific, a system of lasers and holograms. The source immediately compares it to Project Bluebeam.
Wow. Okay, Project Bluebeam, the old theory about a staged alien invasion using tech?
Right.
But surely there's pushback on this document.
Oh, absolutely. Immediately controversial. The source mentions the Beninson Strategy Group, which is cited as the document's origin. And they are a real group. They appear in other WikiLeaks emails. But Beninson Strategy Group went on Twitter and flat out denied it, called the document completely bogus, a hoax.
Okay, so that seems pretty clear-cut then.
Well, that's where it gets murky. The source we're looking at presents the counter-argument. Of course they'd say it's bogus if they were caught, that kind of thing. It questions the denial itself.
Right, the classic, they would say that, wouldn't they, argument. Makes it hard to pin down the truth. Was there any other evidence discussed?
Yes, a pretty significant piece. Someone found the laser diagram image used in the alleged document. It was an exact copy from a Daily Mail article, an online article about using giant lasers to create an artificial star for astronomy, not UFOs.
Okay, that sounds damaging to the document's credibility.
You'd think so. And the source acknowledges that. For many, it's even more proof that this is a hoax.
But there's another interpretation offered.
Yeah, the counter is basically, well, businesses use stock footage and clip art all the time. Maybe they just grabbed an image. Doesn't automatically mean the whole plan was fake.
That feels like a bit of a stretch, maybe. But, okay, covering the angles. So what's the final verdict from the source material on this whole thing?
Ultimately, pretty inconclusive. The source itself kind of throws its hands up, calls it inconclusive, likely fake, but adds that nothing is ever black and white.
Right. It sounds like it reflects the general noise and, frankly, disinformation flying around back then. The source mentions that too, right? A lot of stuff being pumped out to try and sway things.
Exactly. A real mess of information and disinformation. Hard to know what was real. Okay, so let's leave the murky world of alleged plots and jump way, way back in time.
Okay, we're two.
To Romania in 1973, our sources talk about a very strange breaking story from back then about an alien object.
Alien object.
That's the term used, believed to be maybe 250,000 years old, potentially part of an ancient UFO crash.
250,000 years. That's
Yeah.
extremely old. Tell me about the discovery.
It was found during communist rule, dug up from over 33 feet underground near the Meuse River.
Okay. 33 feet is quite deep. What else was found with it?
This is where it gets odd. It was found alongside bones and fossils from a large extinct mammal. But those fossils were dated much more recently, like 10,000 to 80,000 years ago.
So a big time gap between the object's supposed age and the fossils found with it.
A huge gap. And the object itself. At first, they thought it was maybe the end of an axe, but tests showed it was made of soft metallic aluminum.
Aluminum. But humans only started producing aluminum widely, what, about 200 years ago?
Precisely. That's the core of the mystery. How could a manufactured aluminum object be 250,000 years old?
What did the scientific analysis say, according to the sources?
Well, labs in Romania, later confirmed in Switzerland apparently, concluded it was an old UFO fragment.
Whoa, they actually called it that. Why?
Because they said its components, its metallic makeup, cannot be combined with technology available on Earth at that time, or presumably 250,000 years ago. What was it made of?
It's composed of 12 different metals, but it's 90% aluminum. And it looks manufactured, definitely, like part of a larger complex mechanical system.
But not like a modern part.
No, because it's this light aluminum, not the kind of strong steel you'd expect for, say, heavy machinery today. It just doesn't fit anywhere in our known timeline of metallurgy or manufacturing.
And the source connects this to other weird finds.
Yeah, these so-called out-of-place artifacts, parts. The source mentions similar things like strange metallic objects, gear parts or screws or tools found embedded deep in coal seams, stuff dated potentially millions of years old.
Which just completely throws accepted history into chaos, if true.
It really does. And it forces you to ask some massive questions. Is this Romanian object actual proof that we were visited by an extraterrestrial entity way back?
Or the other possibility the source brings up.
Or does it mean that maybe humans have been on this Earth many times before? Like advanced civilizations rose millions of years ago, got wiped out by disasters or wars, and then life or humanity sort of rebooted, either through evolution again or maybe outside intervention.
It fundamentally challenges the standard timeline of human development, technology, everything we think we know about our past.
Absolutely. It's a truly profound artifact if the dating and analysis hold up.
Wow. What an incredible range of topics we've covered in this deep dive, from strange lights near the ISS on a live feed,
To potentially faked UFO invasions and political documents.
all the way back to a 250,000-year-old piece of manufactured aluminum found deep underground.
Yeah, the thread connecting them all seems to be, well, the unexplained. Hidden information, maybe, and just that constant human drive to figure out what's really going on.
Each source, whether it's controversial footage or a mysterious artifact, it really pushes you to question assumptions, to think beyond the easy answers.
It's a good reminder that maybe our picture of reality, of history, of even current events, it might not be the full picture. There could be so much more just under the surface.
So here's something to chew on as you go about your day. Think about it. We live in a world where sometimes video feeds cut out right when something strange appears, where maybe, just maybe, political games could involve holographic illusions, where ancient objects whisper about forgotten chapters of Earth's history. How much of what we think we know is actually the whole story? What incredible truths might still be out there just waiting for us to find them?